Welcome to a brand new show. The name of the show is The Behind the Scene. I'm your boy, I go by the name of PJ Smoke SA, you know what it is. And today we're back with another banging episode. I'm with one of the biggest influencer around Cape Town. His name is Sia Tomas. What's happening, bro?
Yeah, good, man.
I'm
Thanks for
good,
having me,
man. Yeah. This is another episode. And welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us, who's Sia? Where do you come from?
Sia is a very simple guy, I must
Yeah.
say. Very subtle guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've introduced me as Sia Thomas, that's my name.
Yeah.
And a couple of people have been wondering or asking if that's my real name. But Sia Thomas, you'd find it on my identification.
Yeah.
I'm just a young, versatile young person
Mhm.
with an outstanding academic background and excellent attitude to work, highly motivated, an influencer as well as a digital creator.
Yeah.
That's where you find me, you know? Yeah.
How did all of this influencing start about? Or how did your influencing thing come about?
Well, it's a very easy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes within the creative freedom, because
Yeah.
once you start becoming an influencer or you want to influence people,
Yeah.
It all comes with that much of a freedom. Sometimes people might confuse it with,
Yeah.
being high sophisticated stuff, and
Yeah.
requires you to have so much capacity. But sometimes people can literally take their phone and start, the content,
Yeah.
and that's it,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Very easy.
Yeah. So actually, this is the behind the scene. So we wanna know things that people don't know. We wanna know who is you and nobody's watching. What do you do on daily basis? Kahle. So okay, fine. Before this whole thing of influencing and whatever, what were you doing? And then how did it start? Before you got famous or before you got the numbers?
Well, growing up, I used to be a field hockey player.
Okay.
This thing of influence for me, I think it came even
Hockey,
from
like that game with the
the
stick.
field hockey, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
and
yeah.
I used to play for the Western Province team,
Okay.
and I've started playing for the Western Province team since 2012. That was my first tour.
Yeah.
It was in Pietermaritzburg, and then from there I've been pushing since then.
Yeah.
Till I think my last tour was in 2016, and then I got busy post my matric.
Yeah.
Been doing a couple of things, but so to say, if we're talking about influencing people, I have been that individual that has been influencing people, people looking up to me. I mean, coming out and being an individual coming from a township,
Yeah.
and representing a province at a higher scale, because we're talking of interprovincial tournament where
Yeah.
you'd be competing with a lot of provinces.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah.
all 9 provinces
Yeah.
on that, and you have to champion that.
Damn.
So it's that type of an arrangement, understandingly, so that the dynamics have to be there as well in order for you to influence more people.
But Mamela, man. To us black, to be honest, sports like hockey, they're not really that dominant, right? So actually, you come from a very soft family, let's be honest, bro. Or like you just saw it on TV and be like, I'm gonna play hockey. How did it start about?
It was established actually in Kailicha. It was established in 2006. There's
Yeah.
a lady called Gloria Batman.
Yeah.
She introduced this thing, and for us it was very much fascinating because everyone is so used to itiski, kumekas. You understand? And we all wanted to try it, and then eventually she brought us in, and then we started. It's not like I went to Model C schools
Yeah,
where they
straight up.
actually give this
Yeah.
field hockey thing. Yeah, that's how it came about.
Interesting. So it was like after matric.
No, before all of that. Post matric, I was doing something else. I was going deep into content creating,
Yeah.
where I'm just me myself as an individual and trying to push and having to work with a couple of brands. It has really outgrown me. I mean, it's not easy making
Yeah,
it
yeah,
into
yeah.
that industry.
Makes sense.
And sometimes you'd find that, hey, you're not making much money because you just,
Yeah.
commence with this idea, having to imitate a couple of ideas from a couple of people.
Yeah.
You don't know how they move. You need to learn all of those things on how they move, why they're motivating other people, why they're inspiring other people,
Yeah.
and then you can get on track. So it's things like that that will take you there and push you to be an influencer, especially if you want to work as an individual, because it's one of the hardest things. But you need to prioritize a couple of things before you go into that: your image, how you portray yourself within the social space, and then from there you're good to go.
How do you monetize it?
In order for you to monetize that, you need to be working with brands. You need to have so much proximity to brands. Sometimes one would say your connection is very important to people that are already there. I mean, if you want to grow in something, you need to be learning from the best. So in order for you to monetize all of that, you need to be attending campaigns, get to do your media kit. Your media kit is just a draft of your profile, what you do, your name is, and things like that. So it's not a very sophisticated type of thing, but you must learn it in order for you to grow into that industry.
Then who's the person you look up to, or somebody that inspires you in this influencing career, or somebody who's big who you look up to?
There's this guy called Audrey Lunda. He's from Congo. He's a Congolese guy. I think he stays somewhere around here in town. Sometimes watching people grow from a very small number of followers, because the first time I started watching the guy it was around 4K, 5K followers. And then he started pushing. And if you speak to him, it tells you the simplest dynamic on how to grow your account. And things like, but it has to start within the expenditure of your disposal. So it'd be saying you need to do things like go to the mall, go to Cotton On, go to Mr. Price, and just buy a variety of clothes. And then you start mixing it up. For every post that you do, you need to make the point that you tag them along, and also using hashtags that people always look up to. I mean, that's another way to make your video post viral, by using hashtags. But you look into hashtags that are trending at that moment in time. And it cannot be, utilizing any tags. So also it needs to correspond to the type of content that you're doing. If you're doing YouTube, you'll be looking into that, as well as the music that you obviously going to utilize onto your videos. So it's just things like that, but having to learn from people that have much value into their work they do.
Makes sense. But man, in terms of buying clothes, we know some people don't have drip with water, right? So in terms of taste, where do you get it of clothes? You understand? Because I can wear Gucci's, but if I don't have drip, I have water. My drip's gonna make sense. But then personally, who do you look up to in terms of, for example, I look up to Matlera, right? And other people like Travis Scott and A$AP Rocky. Who do you look up to?
My chief, I'm not gonna change the person that I look up to. I usually look up to people that I've seen them grow. This guy I'm talking about, Audrey, he's just fantastic. From the time that I've seen him, very fascinating. And like I said to you, within the clothing type of idea, you know that if you go to Mr. Price, you're gonna find something very affordable, and then you start mixing up. So it's a whole concoction of all those things that you use in order for you to grow into the industry. By the way, for people wearing Gucci's and Versace, I mean, if you have money, why not? But I don't, I don't have much interest in it. But I'd probably get myself like a small accessory, like a wallet or something like that. But if you come to clothing, most of the time you'll find that they're not that fascinating. I must say.
Makes sense. So man, ngesixhosa kaloku.
Phela uyanisa.
Because now ever since I've got here, people call each other Ijan. What is Ijan? Like Ijan.
Well, in real Xhosa, there's no such a thing as Ijan. In real Xhosa.
Okay, interesting.
But it's just a way of modernizing things. One would say Ijan, it's someone that went to the bush and actually do the whole entire process. That is Ijan. And again, like I say, in real Xhosa, it's something that has not been there before, but later has been something modernized, like in terms of wording. You'd find, I don't have any typical example of something that I can actually translate Makes to sense. Be its own, like it used to be this way, and now it's this way, you know. But again, we're gonna say it's something that's, it's something real now, but it has never been something real before. I hope you can understand it that way.
I do understand. Speaking of which, you'll find out like many guys, especially closers, right? They'll be wearing like a proper formal. You understand? And the cap, like ipuma way, the cap and the whole suits formal. You understand? Even when you see that, okay, this person can't afford like a proper suit. Like, where does the whole idea comes from?
Well, it comes from having etiquette, discipline, morals, and you know sometimes you need to be able to be identifiable from people to people. So once you come from Ndabeni or come from the bush, there must be a way that we need to recognize you, identify you as an individual.
Okay,
You know,
makes sense,
so
yes.
they brought that attire to people coming from the bush. But back in the days, if we're going back to the drawing board into our history, people usually did not have such clothes. But obviously, we need now to adapt to our new style of wearing. So that had to be put in place.
Yes, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes super sense. Okay, take me through your first video that went viral, or whatever thing that. What made you viral actually? And be like, okay, I'm gonna take this thing seriously.
Well, for some people, they have a misconception of when I started getting viral.
Okay.
I remember I've been on YouTube, I think about 10 years back, when I started doing.
Bro, wait, 10 years.
Bro.
How old are you, bro? No, dog.
Bro, listen. Listen.
No.
If you
Yeah.
go on YouTube now, you search
Yeah.
my name and surname, you'll find a small boy playing with
Okay.
field hockey.
Yeah.
The idea has always been there.
Yeah.
But somehow you'd find that you don't have proper connection, or you don't have proper people
Makes sense.
that you are associated with or close to you.
Yeah.
And then you start leaving out, all of that. And then obviously the studies that you need to do
Yeah.
and all other things. But then later, I met up with an amazing partner, my
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend, where we started doing this content thing, But she
Yeah.
was always on content creation.
Makes sense.
And then later people started realizing that there's this guy called Sia.
Okay.
And this guy, Sia, is now portrayed a lot of times on social media. Who is this guy? People want to go deep into this guy. And then they see a different person as compared to this girlfriend of mine at the time.
Yeah.
So my first, if I can remember clearly, my first viral video was in 2022.
Okay.
And I was just accompanying her to the airport. And then, there's this sound that used to play, I can't remember the song now, but there's this sound that you'd usually use along with the video that you do.
Yeah.
And then people started, being fascinated about this thing because they want to find out who is this guy and who is this guy that is being posted by this lady,
Makes sense.
because she has not been posting like boyfriend or husband in a long while, So people are fascinated to know this guy. That's when it went viral. And at the time, I felt like it wasn't that viral because as compared to videos that I have now, you look at the views, you look at the engagement,
Yeah.
as well as the number of people liking the page.
Yeah.
So in around 2022, I think that was the time that I felt a movement.
Interesting. Former. Okay, you're referring to Zintle, right? When you say the
Yes.
former, the
Yes.
famous one.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So speaking of music, what kind of music do you listen to?
I'm not very big on music, I must say. But I love Afropop, like the likes of the Amanda Blacks, your Vusinovas, that
Oh,
type
nice.
of music. Yeah. It's very soulful music. If you're that guy that likes to be in a relationship,
Yeah.
you'd find some sort of
Makes sense.
connection
Nice,
with that.
nice. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not very big on music, but yeah. And I mean, coming from, again, like I said, a partner that was busy in the music industry as well
Yeah,
as dancing
yeah,
and all of these
Mhm.
things, you might need to find yourself in it, even
Yeah,
though you
makes
might not
sense,
understand
makes sense.
fully the dynamics of it. But you need to find yourself in it, having to understand a couple of things about music. Because some people really cannot sing, some people can sing, some
Yes,
people
yeah, makes
are better
sense.
off at the back set of the music production.
Yeah.
So things like that,
So you don't listen to hip hop?
No.
Like, no, bro. How do you survive, bro? Hip hop is like, hip hop is like the biggest food in the world, dog. Like, for instance, the biggest beef that we have, Drake and it's Drake and who? Drake,
Kendrick.
Kendrick Lamar,
Mm.
Rick Ross, and Quavo. Like, you're not even up to date about
I'm
it.
not up to date about those things.
Yo,
Pretty much
bro.
not up to date about those things. The things I usually watch on my free time.
Yeah.
I'm very fond of politics and the political systems that are put before us.
Yeah.
And how we should follow
Mhm.
and how we've been programmed to follow.
Yeah, yeah.
Because politics is just one dirty game
Yeah.
that has been pretty much played by our politicians. And it's up to you if you want to listen, but I feel like it's highly imperative for you to follow politics.
Yeah.
Because they actually navigate our
Mhm.
well-being.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, as I was saying, man, the misconceptions of languages, right? Which brings me to, like, I don't know if it's expected from women, but my clothes, you understand? If Ujolana mele masupe yamnikeza ikhat, is it true though?
It's not 100% true, but
Yeah.
people have find ways uyenza laa nto ingathi yinto ekhoyo, Yeah,
well.
but it's not not compelled to do that thing.
Yeah.
You know, but people do it anyways. I think it always comes with the social dynamics as well as what the industry have portrayed to us.
Yeah.
Of which it's a very wrong conception of people wanting to do such things, because once you know it, yes, for the family, especially if ever you've got the mindset of providing
Yeah.
and all of those things.
Exactly.
But you can't allow her to want to hold your disposal.
Nice.
You know? No.
Yeah.
You can have a conversation about it, engage,
Yeah.
and say, okay, every month to month, we're working on this fixed amount.
Yeah.
How about we do that? But at least have a conversation about that. I mean, women nowadays obviously don't want 50-50, although they would be, you know, suggesting that when it comes to other things, like in the corporate world, the types of jobs, women want to be managers. You know,
Makes sense.
you know,
Yeah,
they want to be supervisors. You know, but when it comes to money, it's a no-no, chief.
Yeah, English.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Because I didn't understand it. Like a lot of men, they'd be like, for you to keep a woman, you must be like, yeah. I don't mind giving you money, but it can't die. Yeah, I'm broke, sweet. Yeah, it can't. Nah, never. Yeah, so because if we can check, look at the amount of rapes. How much for instance, you understand?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it must not be about money, but you must at least disclose, like, okay, put in my mail, mina na indaba yam, nikeza imali, then we'll do whatever that we do. So what's your take on women who do that? Like, if you wouldn't give her money in the morning, then it's a rape, then you can't. What's your take on that?
I mean, there's pretty much nothing you can do about that. You have to face the consequences.
Yeah.
But obviously, it will, you know, vary, you know, in terms of the lawyers that are going to be using at that time.
Yeah.
But there's pretty much nothing you can do, even though you had a fair engagement the day before you slept with her.
Yeah.
You know, because women pretty much do these things for money.
Yeah.
You know, I think it brings me to that slay queens,
Nice.
you know, thing where people would be, you know, getting lost pretty much on how slay queens operate or what slay queens are.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as much as the term can have positive and negative connotations, but it's not entirely wrong
Makes
to be a
sense.
slay queen, because it can also mean confident, it can mean stylish.
Yeah.
You know, but people have nowadays you know, used the context quite wrong. And
Makes
I
sense.
mean, even now as out Yasekasi, when you the first thing I hear about slay queen, I just think money. They want to chow you money, you know. And obviously, the fake lifestyle they always portray on social media.
Dubai, they go
everywhere.
to Dubai,
They
and
go
you know what
to
happens in
Dubai
Dubai.
life
Yeah.
and getting pooped there, Dubai. And don't forget that, you know, all those things. They under that umbrella of slaying, because some people or some women would be slaying. They independent. They slaying using their own money.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But the Dubai one, it's another topic.
It's very deep, that one.
Yeah.
It's very.
Yes.
They go deep. Even those guys go deep.
Yeah, it makes sense. They make sense. So kahle, what do you think is going to be the perfect solution to that? Like, okay, the woman is doing that. A lot of guys who are getting arrested for the thing. Like, what do you think is going to be the best solution towards that?
You know, from my level of thinking, I think
Yeah.
the state plays a crucial role,
Yeah.
a pivotal role in making sure that the systems that are put in place
Yeah.
for the movement of people, it's important,
Makes sense.
because we pretty much have rules everywhere. There has to be
Yeah.
rules. But if you look at our country, yes, it is a democratic country, but people are doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
You look at the political system, if I have to go back there, I mean, there's a lot of parties.
Makes
Everyone wants to be in leadership, and not everyone is able to be a leader.
Yeah.
Some people are good in management, some people are good in, you know, obviously coordinating a couple of things. But everyone seems to be wanting to be a leader.
Makes
So
sense, makes
the
sense.
state plays a crucial role in making sure the systems that are put in place have a positive impact at the end of the day.
Makes sense. Yeah, speaking of politics, and now the date is approaching. What are you going to vote for?
Your vote is your secret.
Which party fascinates you? Which party fascinates you? That gives you like...
Well, I must say the EFF has put quite a lot in us.
Yeah.
They brought a lot of spark and purity within
Makes
the
sense.
political dynamic.
Yeah?
So I am looking into voting for EFF. It's probably
Nice.
not going to be the first time.
Yeah.
Well, the recent past, I did vote for it.
Yeah.
I feel like their cardinal pillars are very strong and they speak
Nice.
a lot to the emancipation of our people,
Yeah, yeah.
as well as the economy. I mean, there's pretty much nothing we can do without money.
Yeah.
And they speak a lot about that, as well as the land question that needs to
Yeah.
be visited. And they've been trying their all means, but it's a pity the youth are not, their intervention is very small.
Yeah.
They're not in it to win it. You know, yes, there are people who are now only waking up and also wanting to understand our history
Makes
and
sense.
how it all been brought about.
Yeah.
But yeah, EFF, I think it's one party that we all need to vote for. All right?
So fast forward, do you see yourself getting into politics?
I don't think. Yeah, it's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty
But you
game
can
as
do
much
this,
as-
my guy. But you can. You speak well. You can represent.
Maybe at the back. Maybe at the back. You know, yes, you can be a very articulated person. You
Yeah.
can speak in front of audience,
Yeah.
large number of people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a leader. Like I said,
Okay.
or you're a better manager. Some people are good at working from behind. With me, Chief, I just like to be there in front of the camera, you know,
Yeah.
taking nice pictures.
Nice.
You know, editing some nice reels
Yeah.
and videos and things like that. But coming out in public to people, especially when you have to lie at times, in order for you to persuade people, manipulate people into
Sure.
the idea, because politics pretty much revolve around the ideologies that people have.
Yeah.
And the best ideology at that time, or the one that is able to persuade people, it's the one that must be used.
Nice.
And look at the ANC, man. Just to add on top of that,
Yeah.
they've been playing a good game for the past couple of years. I mean, there's nothing you can say to change the minds of our parents about
Yeah.
ANC. There's nothing you can say.
You can.
I've tried all things, of many of things, in order to persuade my parents to vote for an alternative.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, they wouldn't hear that.
Makes sense. Yeah, man. Enough about this other stuff.
Yeah.
Politics, whatever. Let's talk about long distance relationship. How you balance it? How are you making it work?
I think you have to prioritize communication. You have to prioritize communication. I mean, in all manner of things, where you move,
Yeah.
what you do, communication is important. And for me, relationship, it's not about the distance you have. I mean,
Nice.
my girlfriend is just here now.
Yeah,
And,
just now for the shoot. Yeah, straight up.
We are in a long distance relationship, and I'm
Yeah.
going to be visiting at her house sometime next week. And we're distance apart, but we have made a point that we prioritize communication, as well as trying to find ways to mitigate any arguments from time to
Yeah.
time, as much as they are important and they're playing a pivotal role
Yeah.
in making sure that we grow as people.
Maruti just 6 years. You making the whole long distance relationship work. Mine wouldn't work. Wouldn't even last a week.
Why?
Yeah, dog. As I was saying, bro. I mean, I wouldn't let my woman, like me and my woman, be in a long distance relationship. I wouldn't. That shit doesn't work. It does work. I'm not saying it doesn't work. That shit doesn't work from my perspective, because now I'm there for a week. She's there for a week. She have needs, bro. And
Yeah.
and this Gen Z generation, they're very active and
No,
wild,
no, no.
bro. And they groove and do whatever, so I can't. Me, my woman, nikufuna up. I can't, dog. I can't.
You talk about these things, Chief, and again, I think it always differs from the prevailing conditions at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, she's been here for almost a month now.
Damn.
And I'm flying out to her house the next month, and we're gonna spend a couple of time there as well. So there's more intimacy. I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say, yes, we are in a long distance relationship, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say we pretty much far apart. I mean, it's like a 2-hour flight. I can always be there, you know.
2 hour flight,
so-
but 8 provinces away from you.
No, bro, you can literally be there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's for me. It's no. I have no limitation. There's no barrier for me
makes
to
sense.
always be with her.
So meaning if you're broke, you can't sustain a long distance
Come again?
relationship. If you're broke, if I'm broke, I can't sustain a long distance.
No.
long
Don't
distance
involve yourself. Actually, when you don't have money, Chief, don't
Yeah.
involve yourself with
Yeah,
women.
it's very easy.
You know, leave those things of women when you
Yeah.
don't have money.
Ne?
Yeah, unless you know, obviously dealing with someone that has empathy and
Yeah.
and is also sympathetic about your well-being, and also can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that you've got a skill or something that you obviously
Yeah.
using.
Yeah, makes sense.
know?
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Then from here, before we can wrap, ne? So what can you expect from me? What are you working on? What can we expect? What are you busy with?
Lately, I've just been busy with content creation.
Yeah.
Obviously, trying to uplift my skill as well as trying to further my studies. Recently, filled in a form at work about the P2Ps. It's like it's a personal development plan.
Nice.
You actually choose what you want to study, and then obviously you have to, correspond all of that thing in what you want to do.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to be obviously studying something that you're not going to use it at the end of the day. But I'm not much into studies, but sometimes when you have a good woman next to you, they will motivate you, keep you strong in order for you to do the right thing. Because I mean the main objective is to follow money.
Ne?
Yeah, we just need to follow money. Away.
Okay, last one before we wrap up. Ne? And this one, I got this from one of my followers like a while back, so I've never used the question, right? So how would you feel if your woman cheated with you with another woman?
With another woman?
Yeah.
I mean, it's shy. I don't think I'll complain a lot.
So soon as time it can definitely be a polygamy.
I mean, cheating comes in different ways.
Yeah.
Yes, you're not supposed to tolerate it, but as someone that has grown so much into relationships, shifts I've been dating. And this is just one thing you cannot run away from. And it comes in different ways: talking, flirting, those type of things. And you must have a communication about that, a conversation about it with your partner, and how to deal with such things. Because usually sometimes women just want a present partner. You just need to be there for them. But there's pretty much nothing you can do. I always say this to my friends.
Makes sense.
According to Nayens, there's pretty much nothing you can do for women not to cheat.
Do you believe in polygamy?
Not really. My family, there is polygamy in the background of my family.
It's Tembu,
but I pretty much don't believe in it.
Nice. Now anyway, bro, thanks you for coming. This is the behind the scene. You know what it is. The only podcast that is unfiltered. The only podcast you can find raw content. You know what it is. From me, it's your boy Tato P. Just you know what it is. Kai.